She was sold to a monster to save her dying brother, but her innocence awakened the devil's heart. What happens next will break you, heal you, and haunt you forever. Please subscribe this channel for more heart-shattering miracle love stories. To save her brother, she sold herself to a cruel CEO, and yet she didn't know that this single decision would drag her into a labyrinth of darkness, secrets, betrayal, and a love so explosive it would rewrite the destiny of everyone involved. Alina had always lived her life quietly, working 2 jobs, sacrificing dreams after dreams just to keep her younger brother, Rayan, alive. His frail heart needed surgery worth millions, and time was slipping from her trembling fingers like sand she could no longer gather. When she heard of Adrian Knight, the ruthless billionaire CEO rumored to have no soul, she didn't consider him a man. She considered him the last devil she could bargain with. But sometimes the devil is just an angel tortured into darkness, and she had no idea her innocence would one day be the only light strong enough to pierce his walls. Adrian Knight, feared by boardrooms and whispered about like a storm walking in human form, had everything: power, wealth, an empire built on ice and blood, but he didn't have peace. He didn't have trust. He didn't have warmth. His heart had been locked behind walls forged in childhood trauma, betrayal, and a tragedy no one knew about. He bought people, controlled them, used them, but he never let anyone close. That was before Alina walked into his life with desperation in her eyes and innocence trembling in her voice as she said, "I'm willing to give you anything, just save my brother." Adrian had bought many things in his life, but that night, something inside him paused. Something broke. Something woke. He agreed, not because he needed her, but because some instinct he didn't understand whispered that she was the storm destined to collide with his. He purchased her, but destiny purchased him. Their contract was simple. She would belong to him for 6 months, and he would cover her brother's surgery and hospital expenses. What wasn't simple was what followed. Alina hated him at first. The cold orders, the silent stares, the isolated mansion filled with secrets that felt like ghosts brushed her shoulders at night. The staff avoided Adrian as if he were cursed, and she felt watched, followed, tangled in a darkness she couldn't name. Every night, mysterious footsteps echoed in the forbidden West Wing, and she sometimes heard whispers behind locked doors. A broken piano played by itself. A woman's sobbing traveled through vents. Adrian would vanish from the mansion for hours at night, returning wounded or emotionally shattered, refusing to explain anything. Alina wasn't just living with a ruthless CEO, she was living inside a mystery, and she was part of it without knowing. But what scared her wasn't the mansion's secrets, it was the man. Adrian's eyes were storms. He was dangerous, unpredictable, ice in human form. Yet every time she cried silently in her room, missing her brother, Adrian would appear outside her door, not entering, just standing there, as if her pain called him like a prayer he didn't know how to answer. He would order her to eat when she starved herself out of stress. He would force the world to bend when she needed something. He would break men who insulted her, but he would never touch her, even though he burned every time he looked at her. Her innocence wasn't weakness, it was rebellion. It defied his darkness. One night, she found him bleeding in the West Wing, gripping a broken mirror with shaking fingers, whispering, "Why do you affect me?" She didn't know his trauma. The woman whose voice she heard crying was his mother, trapped in a hidden room due to her unstable mental condition caused by a horrific incident 20 years ago. Adrian had been protecting her in secret, hiding her from the world, carrying guilt that wasn't his. His father was the real monster. Adrian was only a boy who witnessed too much, loved too deeply, and shattered too young. When Alina touched his trembling hand that night, he flinched as if her warmth was poison, but he didn't pull away. And that was the beginning of the destruction of his walls. Slowly, the devil fell, hard, madly, completely. But falling for Alina was also the biggest danger, because someone didn't want Adrian healed. Someone didn't want his secrets revealed. Someone wanted the mansion's darkness to consume him forever. His cousin Ethan, who wanted his company empire, had been manipulating events in shadows, feeding Adrian's fears, worsening his mother's condition, and leaking documents proving Adrian was unfit to run the company due to emotional instability. And the moment Ethan discovered Adrian had found comfort in Alina, Ethan decided she needed to disappear. The threats began subtly: broken glass in her shoes, whispers at night, tampered brakes in his car, shadows following her everywhere. Adrian lost control the day he found Alina trembling after nearly being shoved off the mansion balcony. He kissed her, wild, desperate, furious, because fear tore his chest open, and he realized losing her would destroy him. His lips crashed onto hers with madness, pain, hunger, and a lifetime of unsaid emotions. "You are mine," he whispered, trembling. "No one touches you. No one." But love didn't stop danger. It intensified it. Ethan discovered the contract. He discovered Adrian's mother's hidden room, and he used both to trap Adrian in a scandal so big it could destroy the entire Night Empire. Meanwhile, Alina's brother suddenly went missing from the hospital, kidnapped. When Alina received a message saying, "If you want your brother back, walk away from Adrian forever," her world collapsed. But she wasn't weak anymore. Adrian had unknowingly taught her strength. She confronted him. He begged her not to leave. But seeing his mother suffering, seeing Adrian drowning in guilt, seeing the danger surrounding him, she realized she was the key to exposing the truth. She pretended to walk away from Adrian, breaking him in the most devastating emotional scene the mansion walls ever witnessed. Adrian collapsed to his knees, whispering her name as if she had stolen the last breath he had. But she wasn't abandoning him. She was fighting for him. She teamed up with the one person Adrian never trusted, his mother's long-lost friend, a woman who had disappeared mysteriously years ago, but returned with the truth that could break Ethan's entire plan. Together, they uncovered documents proving Adrian had been drugging Adrian's mother, manipulating the mansion's electricity to create illusions, engineering incidents to make Adrian look unstable, and orchestrating Alina's kidnapping threats. On the night of the final board meeting where Ethan planned to destroy Adrian publicly, Alina stormed into the room with undeniable evidence. She exposed Ethan, rescued her brother who was tied in a basement under Ethan's orders, and revealed the truth about Adrian's trauma. The board was shaken. Ethan was arrested. Adrian was freed from 2 decades of emotional imprisonment. And when he saw Alina standing there, bruised, trembling, but victorious, he walked toward her, cupped her face with hands that once knew only destruction, and kissed her like a starving man finally allowed to breathe. "You saved me," he whispered, "but you didn't save me because you were mine. You saved me because I'm yours." She broke into tears, collapsing into his arms as he held her like he'd found the miracle he never believed he deserved. Months later, Rayanne fully recovered from surgery. Adrian's mother began healing under proper care, and the mansion, once filled with ghosts of the past, became a home filled with laughter, warmth, and new beginnings. Adrian and Alina didn't need a contract anymore. They needed only one promise: together, no matter the darkness. Because in the end, she didn't just break his walls. She rebuilt his world.